Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Roguelike monthly marathon, where I try and beat as many roguelikes in a month as possible, but you only get one qualifying run a day. Today we are back with Slay the Spire. We're playing as the Ironclad because they heal 6 HP after every encounter, and we are not playing Ascension, we don't need the extra difficulty. And away we go. Once again, we have our friend, the Whale. We get to pick one of these 4 things, choose a card to obtain, enemies in the next 3 combats have 1 HP, obtain a curse and 250 gold, or lose our starting relic, get a boss relic. We will not be losing our starting relic, it's too good. We could take the gold, and then by the time we get to this first shop here, we can spend 75 of it to remove said curse from our deck. We can also have our first 3 encounters be 1 hit point, and if we do 1, 2, 3, there's a chance we can get to this elite and have them only have 1 HP when we get there. So let's go with that. It'll also be a little bit speedier. Take the gold, and here we have our first booster. It's going to be a clash for me. Last time we got to the very boss. This is almost the same agreement as the choice we had earlier, and we are on path to go to this shop, so I will do this and take the extra gold, remove the curse later. As I was saying last time, we got to the very last boss before dying. We needed to make 1 or 2 more attacks, but unfortunately we couldn't quite get there. We have another clash, or we could take a drop kick that when we apply vulnerable to a creature, we gain energy back and draw 1 more. I'm going to go with that because it might allow us to kind of go infinite if we get enough of them. Entropic Brew, fill our empty potion slots with random potions. Well, we can take that, consume that immediately, and now we have an elixir to exhaust cards in our hand, a power potion, and a potion of 2 strength. Hopefully this is not an encounter, it's not, and we will pay 50 gold to remove that curse that we just received. And the rest is just profit for us. Here we have our first shop. Question is, what do we want to take? We have a decent amount of money this early on. I will probably remove something, and I will probably take Inflame for 2 strength. That will mean all of our damage cards do 2 more damage on every occasion. So let's remove a basic strike because we've added a clash to our deck as well as a drop kick. We'll take the 2 strength, and otherwise I don't think there's anything else we desperately need. I'm going to get rid of this elixir. I'm going to take another Entropic Brew so that after we've used the other 2 potions we have, we can then get 3 more after that. We've had 2 encounters where creatures have had 1 HP, so whichever boss we go to next, or elite rather, will only have 1 HP. And I'm going to trend left to go to these 2 fires here. We will upgrade our cards. This only goes to 8 damage, this goes to 3 strength, but I think we're going to go to 3 vulnerable here so that when we play drop kick, there's a higher chance that a creature will be vulnerable for that to proc. And our elite, we can just go strike, strike, and that is over. 35 gold, the Ancient Tea set. Whenever we enter a rest site, our next encounter combat will have 2+ energy on our first turn. And here I think we're going to take armaments. Gain 5 block and upgrade a card in our hand for the rest of combat. But if we upgrade that immediately, we will upgrade all the cards in our hand for the rest of combat. The big problem we had last run is that we didn't take enough defensive cards. Potion Belt this early is excellent, especially because our Entropic Brew will now create 4 potions for us after we've consumed the other 2. With 3 fights and then a shop here, or 2 fights, a fireplace, and an elite, we'll take the fights. We will defend for 5. This will defend against the left-hand side creature. We're going to heal for 6 anyway at the end of this combat, which will accommodate the 6 that we're going to get hit for on the right-hand side. And then otherwise we will... In fact, we can probably just kill this creature. Because, of course, we were at a rest site last turn, we got extra energy. I will take a flex for the extra strength. And here we will inflame, defend, strike, bash. We get vulnerable put onto us because we killed that creature with the spore cloud, but we can probably kill this creature before it becomes too much of an issue. Upgrade everything. Flex is free. We have 5 defense already. This makes it 13, which accounts for the attack. Simple stuff. Rampage is reasonable, although our deck's already a little bit bigger than we'd want it to be for playing that routinely over and over again. Sword Boomerang is pretty good as well, because we have several cards that increase our strength, and so it will do 5 damage or 8 damage 3 times. So we'll take that, go to the rest site, and improve Inflame to 3, because that will impact every attack we make there onwards. Another elite. Inflame, defend, clash, strike, dropkick. Turn ready plays itself. Strike, strike, strike. We're going to get hit for 6, but we will heal for 6 regardless. Flex, bash, sword boomerang. Pen nib is excellent. Every 10th attack deals double damage. And none of this is stuff I want. We don't need to double up on the ornaments. We will gain 75 gold and lose 11 HP. That's not a problem. Smithing again. We will go up to 4 strength on Flex Plus. And then the Hexaghost. The first turn is free. So here, with 5 energy, thanks to the T site we were at before, we can inflame, flex, bash to add vulnerable, strike for free for 19, and then do 15 damage 3 times. I don't think we need to play any of these. So here we can drop kick because they are vulnerable. We'll gain 1 energy rebate and draw an extra card. Little armaments to make all of our defends and strikes better, and we will just defend this turn. Defend lets us play clash, which is better than a strike for 1 energy. So I'm trying to beat 30 roguelikes in a month. It'll probably never happen because you'd have to get 30 wins out of 30 attempts because you only get 1 attempt per day. But, I mean, if you don't try, you'll never know. We can bash and then drop kick for free here. And with our rebated energy, we can do 20 damage 3 times and they're vulnerable, so that will be a win. 100 gold. A rare card. Last time we went very hard on Immolate. It worked very well for us until we got right to the very end. Reaper is also exceptionally good, apart from the fact that as we don't anticipate being low on health very often, and so the healed back HP isn't of great benefit to us. So I'm going to stick with Immolate. We are definitely not going to take Sozu, because we already have a bunch of good potions, and this Entropic Brew is worth 5 more potions to us. Ectoplasm gives us energy at the start of each turn, but we can no longer gain gold, but we do get to keep the 335 we have. Or Tiny House, we get 1 potion, 50 gold, increase our max HP by 5, obtain 1 card, and upgrade 1 random card. And in this occasion, I think we're just going to take Ectoplasm. The 335 gold we have is good, and I really want that extra energy. So we would like more elites to fight, and I think with the shop here, We're not going to get any more gold, but we can spend what we've accrued either at that shop, past this one elite, 2 elites, and then we can pass by these shops as well. So we'll start here. We'll start on the right and go through both shops, because the enemies that we defeat we can't gain gold from anyway. So we'll have the free encounters instead. Flex. Sword Boomerang. Not really much to think about here actually, because we have enough energy now to play all of these cards. With 4 energy, 14 plus 21 is 35, so we're not going to be able to kill this guy on this turn if we play the defend, and we'd have to play the inflame as well, in fact. So inflame, immolate, block. Oh, we could have played clash because I played them both. I'm dumb. Still, we can't. We lose that cash, which is a shame. We're going to get rid of Blessing of the Forge because our armaments basically does that job for us. We'll take another strength potion. And here, I'll take a headbutt. It's a bit more strategic. We can take a card in our graveyard and add it back to our hand. Remembering the money we spend here is money that we can never get back. But even so, I think a Thunderclap is good enough to take. The vulnerable that we induce is going to be excellent. And so we can vulnerable 6 damage 3 times and strike. Oh, I thought that was going to be it. Sometimes you really should do the counting. I will take an extra drop kick. And then anything here that really speaks to us. I don't think so. We don't have anything that would benefit from X cards being worth 2 more in their value being played. Probably just going to hold on to our cash here. Although a Potion of Thorns, I think, warrants spending for some of the combats that we're possibly going to face this floor. I'm just going to leave. Thanks very much. Immolate will kill the first 2, which is excellent. We will defend, which lets us play Clash, as well as an attack. And we have Potion Room to burn here. We will take Demon Form, play it for free, and every turn gain 2 more strength. Alas, we have no way to make him vulnerable at this time, but we will improve the cards that we do have and then play them all. I wish I was paying more attention to our pen nib. We could have won that fight that turn, I believe. So this is going to be free. 17 makes 25 exactly. Excellent. Gold we don't get. Meal ticket. Whenever we enter a shop, heal for 15. That's excellent. So another Sword Boomerang. Infernal Blade costs 0. Adds a random attack card to our hand and it costs 0 this turn. And then the Infernal Blade exhausts, but the card that we add to our deck remains for that round. That combat. Or Dual Wield. Choose an attack or power card, add 2 copies of it into your hand. I think we're going to take that because it means that we can either increase the number of clashes we have to play them when our hand is otherwise empty. We can add more immolates, or really more drop kicks that's going to add energy and then let us draw more cards into more of those cards. We'll take the campsite and smith immolate. I think I started a sentence earlier and didn't finish it, but as I was saying, I'm going to try and beat 30 roguelikes in a month. I'm not even sure I own 30 roguelikes yet, but I'm anticipating not getting to a state where I've beaten the 15 that I do have that early. So so I'm not stressing about it too much. You'll see if I pull up the trophy cabinet that's currently empty, you can see these are the 15 games that I've thought about playing so far. And if we can beat all 30 of those... No, I don't want to play this. Those are clearly on the same hotkey. If I can beat 30... Those 15, excuse me, then I'll be doing really well for 15 in a month. Then we can think about expanding our horizons. So we want to do as much damage as we can here. And that's an excellent time for pen nib, because I really didn't want to become vulnerable before finishing this round of attacks. And I'll take a ghostly armor for the 10 block. If we don't play it, it disappears forever, but we'll play it most occasions. Every 3 times we play an attack, we gain 1 strength is incredible. We only have 42 health here, but I think we can kill this elite, and then at this shop we'll get 15 HP back regardless. And this is one of the encounters where you really like to have liquid bronze. So we now have 3 thorns, so whenever they attack us, they'll take 3 damage, and they're going to do 6 damage to us twice. I believe not 2 damage to us 6 times. So they're going to get hit quite badly here. We will apply Vulnerable, that lets us play Dropkick for free. And then we'll play Headbutt and get that back to the top of our deck. And Defend. So the Vulnerable is going to maintain itself for 2 more turns. So then we get the Dropkick. And things just kind of start to self-propagate now. We will make all of those Dropkicks better. And then play all 3 of them. Should have played the Flex first. That's my mistake. We are on 8 cards for pen nib. Really should have done that in a better order, but we won anyway, so I can't complain too much. I will take another Inflame. There's the 15 health we wanted. And now that we have this Inflame, this upgraded Inflame, and a Flex, the Heavy Blade will deal 14 damage and whatever our strength value is times 3, which I think is going to be excellent for us in the long run. That leaves us with 113 gold remaining, and I think we're just going to get rid of a card, probably a basic strike, because we've really bloated this deck much larger than when we previously played yesterday. I do not care about this Flaming Elite. That's for a special ending that I'm not interested in. And so I'm going to take the question mark Fireplace and fight Fireplace. Choose one of 20 cards to add or heal. I'm going to heal now so that I can upgrade stuff at the Fireplaces. This will make it 5 times more effective for our strength rather than 3. That seems like a pretty easy choice. And because we picked up Gambling Chip, at the start of each combat we can lose cards and decide what we want to gain back. So this early, I don't need Headbutt, Bash or Heavy Blade, so we'll trade those out for the 3 cards off the top of our deck. And here we can play everything, but of course we can dual wield into Dropkick. And then these guys have artifacts, which we can get rid of by doing this. They are now vulnerable, so we can cycle through all of these. We have 2 energy left, so we can Inflame, Sword Boomerang for 10 times 3. And with Shuriken working, our strength is already +4 this turn. So 10 add 10 add 32 is a win. And we could take another Clash, but I don't think we need it. Equally, we could take a Pommel Strike, but we're getting so much draw from being able to cycle through Dropkicks, I don't think we need that either. To Smith, I think I will do the Inflame. And we got through our second floor just as fast as the first. So we have Pendib, so the first thing that we attack with is going to be very damaging. So really I'd like Bash, because Thunderclap will proc Dropkick. Or what would be even better with Flex Plus, if we could get, where is it? Heavy Blade, that would be huge as well, but we can't really be that picky. So we'll get rid of this, and then keep these three. We did get Bash, so we will flex. Bash is going to do 28. I think here we can take one of our strength potions. So this is now going to do 32 and apply vulnerable. We can then play the drop kick. There we get the heavy blade, which is what we asked for earlier. Then we can play the other two cards in our hand, and he's half dead already. Now he'll summon 2 minions. We can probably immolate them pretty quickly. Not quite enough damage, unfortunately. But we will immolate regardless. Then we don't have enough energy to play the Ghostly Armor, the Defend, and the Dual Wield to create more clashes. So we're just going to start defending. And we could play the block potion, but we're going to full heal after this fight anyway, and I don't anticipate us dying from the attacks that we're going to suffer. We will inflame. This is going to kill you. That's going to kill you. We will get back the heavy blade, please. And that heavy blade, with him being vulnerable... Oh... Should have paid more attention to the Pendib. Could have saved it for the next fight on the next floor. Regardless, the gold we can't take. The ancient potion we can. And then here. I think it's going to be offering. Offering is so strong. As for a relic. Gain energy whenever we start a turn. Whenever we open a non-boss chest, obtain a curse. Slaver's Collar during boss and elite combats, gain energy at the start of your turn. Or Calling Bell, obtain a unique curse and 3 other relics. I do really like Calling Bell, but because we have clashes in our deck that we're very fond of using, I'm not going to take it. Slaver's Collar is alright. We gain energy in bosses and elite fights for no negative. But if we take the Cursed Key and just remember not to open the non-boss chest, we get all the benefit with none of the drawback on every fight. This is Donu Decker. It's a fight with 2 creatures. Now, how do we want to get there? If we could walk through one of these shops at the end, we get the extra healing. And there's a couple of ways we can go where we get to fight multiple elites for their bonuses as well. Cards to replace. Defend. We want to play armaments. We'll get rid of the inflame. We don't need it this early. So we will armaments, make everything better. Dual wield the Thunderclap. Defend once. Attack with Thunderclap. Attack with Sword Boomerang. It's not ideal, but it's adequate. Inflame. Heavy Blade. Ghostly Armor. Don't need to spend the health offering right now. Flex is free. We'd like to kill this one with as few attacks as possible. But it looks like it's just going to be 2. I'm not going to take any of this. Our deck is big and chunky enough as we are. We hear some whispering voices. You can receive 2 Madness, lose 10 HP. Madness, reduce the cost of a random card in your hand to 0 that lasts the entire combat. We can become cursed and heal, or we can just lose 4 max HP. I'm going to take the Madness. If we can use those to reduce some of the 2 cost cards in our deck to 0, we'll be in a good way. Immolate does 28. Headbutt returns Immolate to our deck, and twice 28 is 56, which is the highest amount of value any of these guys have. So if we do this, then we can Immolate first, Headbutt, put Immolate back on top of our deck, spend our remaining energy defending, and then next turn Immolate to win. Blood Potion, heal for 20. I'd rather have that than the artifact. And I'll take an Infernal Blade for fun. Let's do the fight first. Here, Heavy Blade isn't very good on our first turn because we don't have any extra strength. We'll keep the armaments, the Thunderclap, we'll keep those. Armaments everything. Infernal Blade becomes free, we get a free Headbutt. We'll put... what are we going to put back? Armaments. Defend. Defend. Only taking 3 damage this turn. Then armaments, dual wield, sword boomerang. Man, we're going to take a lot of damage here, and I'm not happy about it. Flex is free. Immolate does 32. And then sword boomerang kills everything else. Sure, we'll take another dropkick. We need more stuff to make stuff vulnerable at this point, I think, but we're doing what we can. Lose our 13 gold and obtain a relic? Yes, thank you very much. Here, I'm going to take the rest. And I'm going to take the question mark elite rather than the elite and the fight. We slip and fall. We will lose... we only have a couple of defense cards still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still, that's my choice. I've made it now. I think we can take this elite. So on alternate turns, this guy will have an effect where every piece of damage that we do will only do 1 damage. So, Inflame. Offering. We make him vulnerable. Infernal Blade to see what we get. Carnage is very good. We're going to add some strength. Are we going to kill him this turn? I highly doubt it. But I don't want to play my other strength potion right now. 58. 37. Headbutt. Whatever we put back now is going to be played on a turn where we can only do 1 damage per attack, so we'll take the defend for next turn. And if I'd have been paying attention to this, we might have been able to kill him this turn, but we can kill him this turn anyway, and I don't know what I'm talking about. The first attack each combat does 8 additional damage, is excellent. Another block potion. And I don't think we need any of this. We've got a good heavy blade. We've got several big attacks. Twin Strike is so-so right now, and our deck is already too full. This is a non-boss chest, so if we open it, we obtain a curse, and so we're going to skip it. And at this point, I think I'm just going to take the 2 fights, shop question mark fight. Stuff to get rid of right now. We'll keep the madness because we have 2 high cost cards in our hand. So we'll lose that. We will play the ghostly armor, play the infernal blade. This is now free. We'll play madness, makes one of these 2 cards free. We need to attack this guy before he does 30 damage to us. This makes something vulnerable, which lets us play Oh, we don't have enough energy. That's me being dumb. Well, that guy's dead. They're still vulnerable, so now we can play the drop kick, but we'll play in flame first. I'm going to offering drop kick here, get the energy back. And these guys do damage to us every time we attack them, so we really only want to attack them twice, which we can do with 2 immolates. Don't need any of this stuff. Colorless potion. I'm going to skip on. What do we want to get rid of here? We don't need the basic stuff when he's not attacking us this turn. Thunderclap. Flex first. Thunderclap means that dropkick is going to give us a card rebate. Headbutt, we will put dropkick back on top of our deck, and the madness do not benefit us right now. He's not vulnerable anymore. I should have considered that. Well, this is good damage. This is enough defense for us to not get hurt. This is good damage, and that's good damage. Defend. Dual wield clash. We get 3 of those to play, which are all free. So we can just do this. Now we have pen nib again. We'll see what this gives us for free. Cleave doing 16 is not incredible. However, we can offering into 2 improved in flames. That's going to make this worth 28. And that is free. And with our last 2 energy, we will defend. Cutting it quite close, but we do have a shop and a fireplace coming up. And that's that fight over. The shop, of course, is important because we have meal tickets, so that will heal us when we get there. We can't buy anything because we have no money. And here, we can fight a boss 1, first floor boss. Upgrade all of our cards, we can no longer heal, or heal to full and gain a curse. Well, at this fireplace, we're probably going to be able to heal pretty much to full regardless. I don't want to upgrade all our cards and no longer be able to heal, and so really we're just left fighting a boss from Act 1. This is the Guardian, we've not seen him before. After doing a certain amount of damage, he will go down into a defensive stance. So we don't need to defend on turn 1. This makes Infernal Blade free, so we'll play it anyway. Deal 16 damage. Deal 8 damage. Deal 6 damage. He now becomes defensive. So every time we attack now, we will take 3 damage, which does suck. Especially with our lack of defensive cards. But we do have defensive potions that we can utilize. It's especially worse when we have lots of these cards that attack little many times. But here we can flex, inflame, inflame. Bash makes him vulnerable. He now has 19 damage before he goes back into defensive again. And back on top of our deck, we will put Ghostly Armor so that we can defend on our coming turn. Don't need to do... So he's attacking us for 9, and to attack him, he will do 3 damage to us. So if we have 12 defense, we can attack him without detriment. We can Ghostly Armor defend. And with this pen nib, what we're really looking for is heavy blade because it's going to be really strong with our 7 strength. But he is up now, threatening to attack us, so we can probably do a lot of that work immediately. So he's going to hit us for 3 back in return. But I think it's worth it to just have this fight be over. Peace Pipe lets us remove cards at rest sites. And Rage Plus is excellent. Whenever we play a card this turn, gain 5 block. So this will be our second to last fight before the final boss of the round. We are getting attacked here twice for 17. But we have 5 energy. Flex is free. Dual wield costs 1, which we can make 2 heavy blades out of. So I think this is fine. So these do extra because, of course, our first attacks do 8 extra damage. We'll attack the one hitting us for the higher amount. And only takes 7 this turn. Unfortunately, we have no way of making something vulnerable, but we can add something back from our previous hand into our deck, which will be Heavy Blade Plus. Attack, attack, and attack thrice. And here it's going to be Thunderclap into that one gets killed, into that one gets very nearly killed. Don't need to spend the damage on offering that it inflicts upon ourselves when the next round is going to be enough to kill. Do we want any of this stuff? I will take an uppercut. It applies weak and vulnerable, which we need more of. Here we are going to rest. We have 63 of 80 HP, but we do have a blood potion which will heal for 20% of our max, which is 16, which basically puts us to max energy anyway. So, opening turn. Dual wield Immolate is going to be very good. Inflame we want to play as soon as possible. I would like something to make them vulnerable, but unfortunately we don't have any way of getting extra cards unless we cycle out the stuff that we already have. But we have 7 energy this early, so it almost seems to be worth doing, although 1 of these and 3 of these will be 7 energy, so we can do that. And here we drink the strength potion, we drink the artifact potion, we throw the explosive potion, we drink the blood potion, we drink the entropic brew. That creates us 5 extra potions. We gain 2 dexterity. That makes our defensive cards 2 better. We'll play a colorless potion now. I think at the start of our turn, playing the top card of our draw pile for free is going to be excellent. We will dual wield Immolate, then play all 3 of those, and we will throw the weakness potion onto Decker. Oh, of course, they have artifacts. Well, never mind. I think we should be fine with how much damage we've already done. Inflame, Flex, I'm wondering whether I want to... Please excuse the motorbikes, I'm sure you can hear them. If we Heavy Blade first, we can then headbutt the Heavy Blade back into the top of our deck, so that seems wise. I think you killed Donu first. There's a strategic way to do this, I cannot remember it. These things we don't need to worry about yet. Our next turn we have Pen Nib ready. So Heavy Blade's doing 64. We will drink this blood potion now. Infernal Blade gives us another headbutt. Heavy Blade became free, which is excellent. Heavy Blade back to the top of our deck again. And we will just eliminate him. And I think we're on the home straight. We can play both of these, which will make him vulnerable, and then a Heavy Blade for the win. We attack the heart, get a paltry 798 score, and then fall asleep until next time. So, April 2nd, that will be, if we look at our empty trophy case, we can now add Slay the Spire to our victories, and that will be it for April 2nd. Join me on April 3rd, where we will play a different one of these 15 games and see if we can't get our second trophy in April 2020 Roguelike Monthly Marathon. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.